Listen up, folks. If you're a homeowner sick and tired of watching your hard-earned cash vanish into those sky-high winter heating bills, then you need to hear this right now. Because what I'm about to show you is the single most powerful DIY wall hack that big construction and the billion-dollar building materials cartel have worked overtime to keep buried for decades. I'm standing here in the crisp morning air of a quiet back road in rural Maine, hand-pressed flat against this massive log wall that went up long before any of us were even a thought. And let me tell you, the wood feels cool to the touch, yet solid as the day it was laid. Not a single crack, not a gap, not one hint that over 130 brutal New England winters have hammered it non-stop. This isn't some fancy engineered system with foam boards or chemical sprays. No, sir. It's just logs, mortar, and a secret sawdust blend. And the heating bill for the family living behind this wall last winter was a jaw-dropping $350 for the entire season. While their neighbor just down the road, same size house, same layout, shelled out $2,200. Yeah, you heard that right. And for years, I was exactly like that neighbor, shelling out month after month, assuming that's just what it costs to keep a real home warm in cold country. But man, was I dead wrong. And once I started digging into old pioneer building ledgers from Maine and Vermont communities that have been doing this exact method for over 150 years, everything I thought I knew about keeping a house cozy flipped upside down. The Department of Energy has run the numbers on this exact approach. Yet a shadowy network of suppliers pouring $40 billion a year into modern materials has made damn sure this never shows up in the codes that dictate what you're allowed to slap together on your own property. But lucky for you, I'm pulling back the curtain today and handing you the full blueprint. So stay locked in till the very end, because the final piece I drop is the one that turns this from a cool idea into the permanent game changer for the house you're living in right this second. The truth is, most of us are trapped in a cycle of pain we never even question. We buy these cookie-cutter homes with their fiberglass-filled walls and rigid framing, pay through the nose every winter for heat that leaks out like a sieve, then watch the bills climb higher as the materials break down, just like the manufacturers planned all along. And big construction loves it, because they get to sell you replacements every 20 years, while the chemical giants and cement cartels keep raking in record profits from products that were never built to last. I spent years in houses like that, freezing my tail off, wondering why my walls felt like ice, even with the furnace blasting. And I finally realized the whole system is rigged to keep you dependent on their expensive junk instead of giving you something that works forever for pennies. But here's where it gets good, because the solution hiding in plain sight is this insanely cheap $2 powder mix that creates walls so efficient they don't just block the cold. They actively store heat during the day and release it slowly at night, like a built-in thermal battery, keeping your rooms warm long after the heater kicks off. And this isn't some untested theory. It's backed by real-world performance data from government labs, plus generations of frontier families who proved it the hard way through every freeze and thaw cycle imaginable. Picture this. The technique is called Cordwood Masonry, or Stackwall, and it's simply short-seasoned logs stood on end in a bed of special mortar, with the gaps packed tight with ordinary sawdust or wood shavings. Nothing exotic, nothing from a big box store. Just honest materials that cost next to nothing and deliver insulation ratings that beat modern code minimums, while adding that thermal mass magic fiberglass could never dream of. A typical new-build wall with 2x6 studs and cheap pink insulation might hit around R20, but it only slows heat flow when the furnace is running, and the second the power or gas shuts off, it goes dead, offering zero storage and zero help through the night. This cordwood approach, on the other hand, gives you that same R20+ rating, plus the logs soak up daytime warmth from the sun or your heater, and radiate it back for 8 to 10 hours after dark, turning the entire wall into a silent, free heater that keeps everything even and draft-free without constant cycling. The secret sauce isn't the logs themselves, it's the mortar. Because these old builders never touched the rigid Portland cement stuff that cracks and fails when wood expands and contracts with moisture changes. Instead, they mixed up a flexible lime-based blend using lime, putty, sand, and that free sawdust that moves with the wood, stays sealed for lifetimes, and even creates a naturally alkaline environment that fights off mold, insects, and rot without any toxic sprays. This isn't tradition for tradition's sake. It's hard-won knowledge from watching cement versions crumble in under 20 years, while the lime ones stood rock solid through a century and a half of real weather, proving once and for all that the big industry push for quick-dry chemical binders was about repeat sales, not real performance. Now let's get to the hands-on demo, so you can see exactly how simple and doable this is for any regular homeowner with basic tools and a weekend or two. Because I promise this isn't rocket science. One person can handle it, and two people fly through it even faster. You start with a standard foundation, just like any house. A poured footing or rubble trench, raised 12 to 18 inches above ground, with a stone or concrete stem wall to keep moisture from wicking up into the logs. That's non-negotiable, because the old-timers learned the hard way that skipping it leads to early failure. For the mortar, you mix 3 parts clean builder's sand to 1 part lime putty and 1 part soaked sawdust by volume, stirring it to a thick peanut butter consistency that holds shape but still flexes. And if you're in a wet area, you can add a tiny 10% shot of Portland, just for faster initial set. But never more, or you lose the flexibility that makes it last forever. Season your logs at least a full year, preferably 2, using rot-resistant species like cedar, pine, or larch. Cut to 16 inches long, so the wall ends up 12 to 16 inches thick for maximum thermal performance. Then lay the first course by spreading a 3-inch wide strip of mortar along the outer edge and another along the inner edge, leaving a 6 to 10-inch cavity in the middle that you pack immediately with dry sawdust for extra insulation. Press each log into both mortar beds with a gentle twist to get full contact, no gaps. And repeat course by course, checking level as you go the whole time, filling that cavity so the sawdust becomes the free super insulator that boosts the whole system. Work in manageable sections so the mortar doesn't skin over before you set the next logs. And in a couple of days, you'll have a section of wall that's already warmer to the touch than anything modern framing can deliver. The proof is in the pudding, and I've seen it firsthand with my own test build, plus dozens of real homes that have run this system for decades, before and after. Shots don't lie. I built a small 12 by 16 addition using this method, and in the first 30 days of a New England winter, my heating costs for that space dropped 80% compared to the old fiberglass shed. It replaced. The interior stayed a steady 65 degrees with the heater running half as much. And after 6 months, 0 cracks, 0 drafts, 0 maintenance, just rock-solid performance. While the neighbor's new code-built garage needed re-insulation and caulking already. Long-term, the tips that make it bulletproof are simple. Keep the log ends unsealed so the wall can breathe naturally through vapor diffusion, which prevents trapped moisture and mold better than any plastic barrier ever could. Choose your wood carefully, avoiding high tannin types that could stain. And always source sawdust fresh and dry from a local mill, because it's literally free and turns the mortar beds into even better insulators over time. After a full year of seasonal movement, the lime mortar stays tight, and the thermal lag effect means your walls keep feeding stored heat back into the rooms for hours after sunset. turning even the coldest nights into comfortable, low-energy affairs. And these walls have zero resale value loss, because they outlast the house itself. No rotting siding, no settling insulation, no repeat bills every decade, like the big construction traps. So if you're done getting ripped off by systems designed to fail, and ready to take back control over your home's comfort and your wallet, then stop waiting. Grab some lime sand and sawdust from the hardware store. Source a few logs and start your own cordwood project this spring. Because this hack isn't just saving money, it's giving you a home that performs better every single year, instead of worse. And the best part is, you can do it legally on your own land using the owner-builder exemption available in 44 states, which lets you bypass contractor licenses and submit your own plans with basic performance data that any inspector has the power to approve under the Alternative Methods Clause already written into the code. Head over to the description right now and grab my complete Pioneer Wall Blueprint that walks you through every detail, from permits to finishing touches. Plus 4 more forgotten home systems that deliver the same permanent results without feeding the big corporations another dime. If this fires you up, smash that like button. Subscribe for more no BS DIY hacks that big industry doesn't want you knowing. Share this with every homeowner you know who's tired of bleeding cash on heat. And drop your biggest barrier in the comments below, whether it's sourcing wood, time, or permits, because my next video is going straight at the top answers, and I don't want you to miss it. We're in this together, folks, and your lower bills start today.